right, it's another nice evening in the Arizona desert here. Just about to watch the sunset and spend some time editing the Eggplant Parmesan video, which I've been working on, which is really good. I made it because I've been hanging out with a fellow camping the last, I don't know, about 4 weeks. A fellow I met that mountain bikes every day. He goes almost every day, and eggplant parmesan was his favorite thing, so I made him some eggplant parmesan. But he's from Israel, and he rides every day, and he's a prospector, a dry prospector, and he's looking for that golden nugget. Oh, and by the way, he's 82 years old. Okay, the eggplant parmesan is actually kind of a little bit complicated. It's kind of like 3 parts: the sauce, breading and frying the eggplant, and then baking in the oven. I can still remember one of the first things that I learned from my mother how to cook: tomato sauce. So we're going to make that tomato sauce recipe, and it's good in eggplant. It's good on pasta, not so much on pizza, and it's really good on lasagna, because that was the one thing that my mother could make really well. Well, she could make a lot of things really well, but her lasagna was legendary. So we'll make that sauce. The one difference is we won't add for lasagna, my mother would add Italian sausage to the sauce. So this sauce we're not going to add. It's going to be totally vegetarian. Hey, welcome. Rick here from Kitchen Huey. Welcome to my channel. After 11 years of living aboard a sailboat, I sold the boat, and in 2017 I got a brand new Sprinter cargo van, which I've been working on turning into a camper. I spend part of the year in Maine and the rest of the year traveling around our country from coast to coast. I use the van on extended ski trips as well as mountain biking trips. The van has worked out awesome. I really enjoy it. And I've really enjoyed cooking in the van. I've been making lots of meals, and it's been a great setup. So I want to share these adventures and my cooking with you. So come on along and join me as we explore our amazing country and enjoy some great meals. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Arizona. Well, turning into the evening. And tonight I'm going to make some eggplant parmesan. Actually took a couple nights. So tonight we're going to start out with the sauce. And here's the ingredients for the sauce: stewed tomatoes, olive oil, tomato paste, black pepper, basil, oregano, salt, white pepper, liquid smoke. Let's get going. The sun is setting and I want to eat before it gets too late. Like many of my recipes, the first thing that I use is garlic, fresh garlic for this one. So we'll take 2 cloves of fresh garlic and we'll cut the ends off of each of the cloves, and then we'll smash them flat and chop it finely. Notice I flip the knife upside down when I'm scraping along the cutting board. That preserves the integrity of the blade. It really helps a lot. I got turned on to that a while ago. So we'll chop this garlic up really finely. Notice how quick I can do this. It's pretty amazing. We'll get it really nice and fine as I can get it. We're going to cook this on the stove top using my, not my iron skillet. I tend to don't cook tomato sauces with the iron skillet due to the acidity. We'll add a couple tablespoons of olive oil to the saucepan, and then we'll throw our garlic in. Again, it's on low heat. And we'll start sauteing the garlic. Next, I'll add some onion. Again, I'm going to take a couple slices of the onion, and I'm going to slice it up fairly finely, similar to the garlic, maybe a little coarser than the garlic. And I'll also add that to the saucepan, again on low heat. All ingredients are always listed down below. I'm going to take some of my Himalayan sea salt, and I'll grind a little bit of that. Follow that by some black pepper. And then we'll just stir that around. You can see the heat's on very low. We don't want to burn this. We want to caramelize the onions and the garlic. I'll cover that while I'm continuing with the recipe. I have some mushrooms that I'm going to put in there, as well as some parsley. The parsley I'll chop up finely. A little bit that's left over I'm going to hang upside down and dry. Actually, it was cheaper to buy fresh parsley than it was to buy dried parsley. The dried parsley was really expensive. In my opinion, this is going to come out better, both for the recipe and for having parsley in the future. Okay, I added the chopped parsley to the saucepan. I'll stir this around, and we're going to try to caramelize this. And again, we're keeping it on low. I'll throw the cover on it while I prepare the next part. I'm going to chop up the mushrooms a little bit more so they're a little bit more finely chopped up. And then I'll go ahead and I'll add them to the saucepan. I put the mushrooms at the end because mushrooms tend to add a lot of moisture, and I wanted to get the onions and the garlic brown before. Okay, well, while that's cooking, I'm finishing off a bag of chips. Okay, the veggies have been cooking for about 5 minutes, and you can see they got a nice little brown tint to them. That's about perfect right there. That looks really good. So next we're going to start to add, I'm going to add the crushed tomatoes, and then I will throw the tomato paste on top. Again, we're keeping this on low. Low and slow is the way to go for the sauces. We'll just break this up a little bit rather quickly, and then we'll add some, we're going to spice this up. We'll start with a little bit of black pepper and some basil. Again, all amounts are listed below. and some oregano. Oregano really adds the pop to this sauce. And then we'll throw in some white pepper. I like white pepper. It's really good. It's really expensive too. If you see it cheap, get it. And then we'll add a couple drops of liquid smoke. Again, don't overdo the liquid smoke or you'll kill this thing. And then we'll top it off with a couple more tablespoons of olive oil. This is our sauce. We're going to let this sit. We'll cover it and let it cook for a little while. Now the cheese that makes the recipe, the name, Parmesan. Make sure you get Locatelli. We're going to add some Locatelli Parmesan to this. And we're getting close to being done with our sauce here. And we'll cover that and we'll let that simmer. If you like Eggplant Parmesan and you like the content I produce, you can help me out and hit the subscribe button right down there. All right, thanks. Last night we made the sauce. Tonight we're going to put it all together. So here's our ingredients. We got some eggs, some oil for sauteing the eggplant in, breadcrumbs, mozzarella cheese, Locatelli Parmesan. We'll start by taking some flour, and we'll put some flour in a small bowl. In a separate bowl we'll we're going to take 2 eggs and crack them, and we'll mix these up pretty vigorously, like you're making scrambled eggs. In the third bowl is the Italian style breadcrumbs. I like progressive. You can make any one you want, but progressive really have a nice zip. We're going to take and we're going to slice up our eggplant into slices about a 1/2 inch thick, and I'll try to get as many as I can out of a single eggplant. I usually don't use the top and the bottom. Next, we're going to take and we're going to make our own baking dish. If you have a baking dish at home you can use, great, but in the van this just works out a lot easier, because at the end when I'm done I can store the leftover eggplant in it, and then when I'm totally done with the leftover eggplant I can just throw the whole thing away. So I kind of make a baking dish that will hold these eggplant patties, and the key is making sure the corners are sealed so stuff doesn't leak out. We're going to fire up our grill. Now I am going to use my cast iron skillet because it retains the heat. So we'll add about a 1/4 cup of oil, or enough just to barely cover the bottom of the pan. While that's heating up, I'm going to take and I'm going to slice up my mozzarella. I want to slice it into about 1/8 inch thick slices using about a 1/2 pound, or enough just to cover, so a couple pieces for each eggplant patty. We're also going to take and we're going to grate our Parmesan Locatelli, so it's ready to roll. Now to make this happen, we first dip the eggplant in the flour, and you want to get as much flour as possible. You'll then take it and you'll dip it into the egg bath. This is kind of a tricky part. You're going to get messy, and it is messy. You want to get the entire piece of eggplant covered with the egg batter, otherwise the important part, the bread mixture, will not stick. Again, you want to get both sides and the sides with that covered, and we'll stick that into our skillet. As you can see, it's starting to bubble, so the oil temperature is perfect. We'll do this for all of our patties. I can cook 3 patties at a time in my skillet. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes on each side, depending upon the temperature. You don't want to burn it. You got to be kind of careful flipping these things. You notice I'm using chopsticks. Just be very careful, because you don't want to lose any of that crunchy yumminess on the outside. Okay, now we'll assemble the dish. We'll take a healthy spoonful of the sauce and place it on top of each eggplant patty. You don't want to spread it out too much, because when the sauce cooks it's going to spread itself out. I love finishing off the little bits of stuff here when you're cooking like this. This sauce is so good. Okay, to the top of each eggplant patty I'm going to add the mozzarella cheese. So each one has a pretty even coverage. You can see that looks pretty good right there. Next, the namesake of the dish, the Parmesan cheese. Don't go skimpy on the Parmesan cheese, the Locatelli. Make sure you get Locatelli. Don't use any of that stuff in a box or pre-made. I'm going to take some of my dried parsley, and I'll chop that up finely, and we're just going to coat the top of the eggplant with the parsley and evenly coat each patty. Now we'll take a look. It's ready for the oven. We'll bake this at about 325 to 375, depending upon how hot or how you'll know your own oven. Plants in the oven. I'm going to make a simple salad. Just arugula, topped with some olive oil, and some fresh lemon squeezed over the top. This is very simple and very easy, but it's going to accompany the eggplant quite nicely, I think. I like arugula. It's got a nutty flavor. Some people like it, some people don't. So if you don't like it, you're not going to like this salad. And then I'll just add some black pepper and a little bit of garlic powder. Try not to overdo it on the garlic powder. Again, all the amounts and ingredients are listed down below. And then I'll just mix this up. And that's it. That'll be our salad. All right, there we have it. Fresh out of the oven. Eggplant Parmesan. That looks golden delicious. Okay, Dan, what do you think of the eggplant?
Well, This is the best I ate
No.
ever. It's so good. It's so tasty. It's kind of melt in your mouth. It's good.
Made in van.
Okay, that's. And the combination with the arugula is pretty neat. Wow.
Yeah, we're not starving in our vans.
What?
We're not starving in our vans.